Okay. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new channel that we have here on YouTube for you. We're bringing you some content from our league, the UBC. And today I'm joined with one of the members, and also he's going to be the co-owner of the channel. He goes by the name of Vish or Vincent. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, guys? Vince, Vsich, Pock, as I'm now known.
Is it Vsich? Is it Vsich? I've been calling you Vish all along.
It's Vsich. It's the first. I don't know. I came up with a little username just because it was easy for me to remember.
Right. I've been calling you Vish all along, so yeah.
Hey, whatever works.
That's a Vsich.
To call me.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with Pock or Vish. I'm just gonna go with Vish. I'm done. I'm calling you Vish. That's it. Simple as.
All right.
So today, it was a few days ago that we finished our regular season and we're just heading into playoffs. And Vish and I thought we were gonna go ahead and just do a kind of like a season recap. So yeah, I mean we're just going to jump into it. We're going to start off by going through each of the teams and just explaining kind of how we personally feel they've got on, and then we'll go into some of the other things that we kind of cover, such as the standings at the end. Then we have like kills and all that juicy stuff. So I'll kind of get started with one of the guys in our league called Vsich. Or as his team name goes, or although he changed it every season, this season he was called the San Diego Wild Chargers. And just to kind of, I mean, last season he was I think he had the second best overall record, but for most of the season he was leading until one of the other admins in our league kind of overtook him. I think it was on the last game. But I mean, he had a few forfeit wins, so that doesn't really count. Yeah. And then this season didn't really come together as well for him. And he finished 3-7 with a -9 diff, and he came last in my division that I'm in. It's a little bit of a fall from grace. I guess one of the biggest things that I can say for Veno was, last season I know he had a lot of help preparing his draft and he wanted to go it alone. I think for next season probably get some help, because you've seen that works. I know last season you had an Empoleon and Gliscor core, which was just incredible. It was so hard to beat. The kind of the synergy with the hazard removal, setting rocks, the covering each other's weaknesses, obviously having a steel type within it. It was so hard to beat. And then the threats you had on the side, like Gyarados, I can't remember some of the other ones you had. I think you had a Taunty as well. It was just so scary to prepare for, and obviously you were well in banging form. So yeah, I mean that's my only advice for you next season is just to kind of get some help while you're preparing, or don't and go 3-7 again. It's up to you. So yeah, that's my coverage of Veno, and I hope you do better next season.
All right, taking that, we'll move on to the leader of the Diamond Division, Bill, our current resident coach of the fapping Spindas for the last seasons.
I always laugh at that.
He kind of did the exact opposite of Veno. He went from a 3-7 record to an astounding 9-1 record with a. See here, how did he end up at? He ended up at a +28 differential, actually.
It's incredible. And that 10th game was actually his last, the 10th game of the season. And he said he was majorly tired, and I think he also said he gave him the win, but I don't know how true that is, or he was trying to get Greninja's kills up for Veno as well. So yeah, I don't know. He probably could have gone 10-0. He destroyed.
I think it just shows that Bill does have a heart a little bit. He has something down in there. He isn't all ice. But looking at his team, did a quick little rundown. I think the best thing you can say about his team is just the absolute firepower that he has. He has 9 Pokemon with at least 4 kills, meaning every single one of his Pokemon is a threat to kill you.
Yeah.
Arguably his worst month was Manaphy at 4-5, and he still can't sleep on that. That thing led the league, I think, second in kills the very first season we had it.
Yeah, and I mean, he did use it offensively some weeks, but other weeks it was because of all the other. I think the other mons that he had better matchups against most of the mons in our division. Like I look at our teams, and ground and ice is particularly good. Man, if he kind of tied up some holes with, I think most times he brought it kind of more defensive. So I can't really blame him. It definitely did a job aside. I mean, it came 7 times out of 10. So.
Yeah. I think it just says a lot how he built his team, that he didn't even need Manaphy to be his offensive threat. And personally, what I was going to go with is like his line and Tornado's T just leading the way with 21 kills combined, only 7 deaths. He was my MVP pick for the season. He really just put the offensive pressure every single time. Great ability, and just he really held that team together with that, and then adding Mamoswine in as well to take care of any weaknesses that he had.
Yeah.
Cinderella's story of sorts, with him coming back from a 3-7 record after last season. Even if some hacks played into that, courtesy of Chat Tot and Megas and Scizor.
Yeah, he's going to call you out on that.
Outstanding season. He has just done amazing. Would have liked to see him go 10-0. Don't like to see people giving charity to Benno, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's not much more to say about it. He's just done amazing with how he's set up every single week.
Yeah, he's put more effort into his prep. His team's pretty much impossible to break from. I'm going to go out and say it's one of the best teams I've ever seen drafted. There's no outstanding weaknesses to his team. I mean, I can't even. Yeah, there's nothing that I can call to say he has a particular type weakness. It's absolutely. I mean, it's an incredible team. He's done incredibly with it, and yeah, I mean, I feel like I gave him a good game. Obviously, there was some hacks involved within many of them. And yeah, I mean, some people, particularly, I mean, I guess when he was halfway through the season, everyone was looking at him like 5-0. I think he was the guy to beat, so he put some extra time into his preparation, and he done well. Anyway, that's enough time for Bill. He's gonna love the fact that we've talked about him for so long.
Yeah. My only complaint though is that he didn't bring Clefairy once. I mean, it's like the only complaint I have.
I think he was boasting about that after his draft as well, that he managed to pick up Clefairy, and I know he used it to some effect last season in a Violite. So yeah, it's a little bit of a shame, and I don't think we're going to see it in any playoff battles. But if we do, then
I don't see why we would. Honestly, he's clearly doesn't need it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you've got a Mega Latias, I mean, what's his fairies? He's got a Bulu. Has he got any other fairies or any normal?
Just Bulu and Clefairy.
Yeah, just Bulu. I mean, you don't need to bring anything else really. You don't need to bring a Clefairy when you've got mons like that on your team. Then next up,
on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. So we've got one of the other admins, X, or Ryan as he's called. And looking at his season, although he qualified for playoffs, I actually expected more from X. I mean, some weeks, if I look at just some of his,
3 forfeit weeks that he had.
Yeah,
weeks there was a forfeit.
I think there was 2 games. So this season, in terms of, so yeah, I mean, just to cover that, I mean, X is just a forfeit king. Last season he went 7-3. I think he got 3 forfeit wins. So
they went 2-1 this season, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, there was 2 forfeit games from this season. One was against me because he kept. I mean, he was a no-show. That wasn't to say anything bad about him. It just times didn't match up. And the other one, he took a 3-0 from one of the other admins, Robbo. But yeah, I mean, he got to say something like X is probably one of the better battlers in the league, and he also got 6-0'd by Bill, and Scrafty nonetheless.
We were all about that.
Yeah, and he put that behind him. I mean, I think I got beat by him, and then I just went on a downer. No, every time I lost to him, I won after, so I can't even say that. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. I mean, I I'm pretty unhappy with kind of how he did. I thought he would do better, looking at some of his matchups, but just to go over his team as well. His team is broken to some degree. He's got so talk about his offensive pressure. He's got Victini, Lucario, Nihilego, Weavile. So they're 4 hyper offensive mons.
Very hyper.
Yeah, they back that up with a Mega Aggron to take on any physical hits. And then what else? Oh, and then you've got an Alolan Ninetales to put up that Aurora Veil. So these mons are taking barely any damage. The only weakness,
Scarf set against Nick.
Yeah, exactly. So he kind of sees those gaps within a team and can do that. The only weakness of his team is he has no form of hazard removal, bar Gliscor, but that can't bring a Toxic Orb with or the ability. I can't remember what the ability is called with Gliscor.
Immunity.
Yeah, immunity. So yeah, I mean he wouldn't ever really bring that. But I mean he's got a Victini, he's got a Weavile, 2 mons which are super, and a Ninetales which are super weak to rocks. So well, not super weak times 2. So it's clearly worked for him, but that's something I guess he's gonna improve upon next season. So yeah,
let's just hope he gets his playoff battle in this time.
Yeah, exactly. So
got 1 day left.
He should be playing tomorrow his playoff battle against one of the other members, Sam. So hopefully that happens. Otherwise, we'll have to have some words. But yeah. Anyway, good season, X. Good regular season. I think you could have done better. And hopefully next season I mean, when I say do better, I mean in some of your matchups have been incredibly close against some people that you probably would have 4 or 5-0'd last season. For instance, like Nick, you would have beat him by more last season. Zach as well, you had a close match. So the one good thing is you actually managed to battle Robbo, and that for us, I think you've tried to battle twice before, and both times you haven't been able to. So that was a good battle to see. Certainly one of my.
It also probably disproved the theory that they're not the same person.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of still think that. I think he had 2 laptops open at the same time, just to kind of put that theory on the back burner for a little bit.
We'll see again next season when they forfeit again.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, moving on to the next one. I think you've got Nick.
Yep, we got Nick up next. Nick finished 2nd in this UPC last season. To Robbo, who thankfully is not in the playoffs this year. Looking at Nick's team, there's cancer. I don't care what he says about him drafting offensive mons. He brings defensive Salamence almost every week, it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd voted against me as well.
Yeah, he just needs to stop talking about being offense. You are not offense, Nick. Stop. Look at his team. It's really still really well set up. With Mega Sab, Blissey, Clefable, Togekiss. I don't know how you break through that. 3 of those mons. If you have 3 of those mons on the team, like your team's good enough as it is, and you have all of them.
Yeah.
The opponent doesn't know what you're bringing, doesn't know what set you're going to bring.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess the way I went around prepping for Nick was, I mean, I kind of tried to shock him a little bit. So I noticed Nick he prepares for individual Pokemon. So something like defensive Ments to check things like Gyarados and take a hit from Zard. I mean, I didn't really think of defensive Ments, but I thought of like offensive Skarmory. I think I bought more of a bulky Zard. I think Goodra was more of I think it was a physical attacker. I think that was the thing with Nick's team. You have to kind of surprise him, otherwise he can just wall most teams. I mean, you can look at things like your Blissey and your Mega Save Core. It's so hard to break through unless you've got like a physical, well, not even a physical fighting. I don't know. It's very hard to break through.
Yeah, I remember my battle against him. I think I went full offense as much as I could. I just had to really had to bank on making the right predictions of what he's going to be doing.
Yeah,
you have to really get inside his head to be able to beat him.
He's got some. I mean, looking at, I mean, everyone at the start of the season was saying he's drafted Stall. I can kind of back the fact that he hasn't bought Stall or even played Stall once, really. Well, I mean, when he says offense, it's not really offense, but it's more he's got a lot of versatility. So if you look at things like Mew, you look at things like Togekiss, even things like Mence and Clefable, they can have like multiple sets that he can bring. You should have like Nasty Plot Mew or the kind of Stall Breaker Mew. You've got obviously the defensive Mence, the Fat Mence. You've got Scarf Togekiss. You've got kind of the more support Togekiss. He's got a lot of kind of versatility alongside his bulk, so I guess preparing, just kind of seeing which one matches up well against your team is also a kind of a good way to go about it. But yeah, I mean, Nick obviously making playoffs was he kind of beat.
And that's why I used the term cancer. I didn't say he was Stall. It's so hard to just deal with him.
Yeah.
When it comes to this matchup, he's got just everything. He's got a wall, it feels like, for every one of your moms.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got a lot of crippling Pokemon as well. So I think 3 or 4, I can't remember, have like Will-O-Wisp. So bringing your physical attackers, you're going to have a bad time. So why I bought physical Skarmory, offensive Skarmory, I don't know, but yeah, he can shut you down.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I think enough on him. I'm just getting sick looking at this team.
Yeah, exactly. I've got the fun one. So Tom or Spiel the Force. It's actually the first time I've ever seen someone have this bad a season. He didn't win a single game. So it's a 10-game regular season. He went 0-10, minus 31. And when I bought Tom into this, carry on.
The even 30. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Oh, you're right. I was wrong. I apologize.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he had a minus 31 differential, but I mean, I brought Tom into the league. I think it was the start of last season. Having been in like 2 leagues with him prior to that, and both times that I was in leagues, he went to the championship at one point and lost to a guy that rarely, like, I've only ever seen him lose once in like 3 seasons. And then the other time, I think he made playoffs and got knocked out in the semis. So I know he's capable of so much more. But I mean, I just look at his team, and his team has just it has nothing really to fear. I mean, you look at things like Mega Altaria, Jirachi and Raikou. They're all naturally scary Pokemon, but they're nothing kind of groundbreaking. And I mean, most times he didn't really bring kind of sets that would scare you, because most times he'd just bring like, memes or memes or whatever you call them, and just trying to baffle you thinking that way. And I think by the time he was like 0-4, he'd just kind of given up. I think he was on like a 10 losing streak from all his leagues. So it's such a shame to see that happen. And obviously it must have took a toll on him. I'd personally hate going 0-10. I think anyone would. It would kind of take a toll on your own life. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident and also pretty worried for anyone in Tom's division that he will pick it up next season. He's not going to want to do that again. He's been there, done that. He's going to draft some scary things, and I'd really prep hard for him next season, because I think he will have an average to a good season, I think. And that's not to say like his season was terrible. He has played well. I mean, he's pushed his opponents.
He's shown the signs of being able to do it.
Exactly, he's shown the signs. I mean, he pushed me. I nearly made a playoffs. He pushed X. He pushed Robbo. I mean, Robbo only took a 1-0. I think that was probably one of the games of the season as well.
That was the Battle of the Berries.
Yeah, that was the Battle of the Berries. That was an incredible battle. And yeah, I mean, he did get 6-0 by Sam, but again, probably getting used to his team. That was early season. And then after like week 4, he didn't lose any more than 3-0. So you can kind of see he wasn't awful, but he just wasn't able to kind of pull himself over the line. So hopefully that changes from next season. And looking at some of his kills, I mean, the most kills he got was 4, and that was Donphan with a Pokemon. And then Donphan also died the most with 8 deaths. So a little bit sad to see, but I'm sure he'll be a pretty scary opponent next season. I can guarantee you all that. Don't sleep on Tom.
Just to add on to that, I think just with Tom, I'm not sure, like, especially, I think even when he was drafting, I'm not sure exactly he knew what he wanted from his team. Like you said, a lot of these mods are scary on their own.
Yeah.
It just felt like there wasn't exactly a good synergy between them all.
No, I know that's something he's looked at in the past. Was he mainly looks at synergy. I mean, he helped me prepare a draft once, and he was just looking at pure synergy. So yeah, if I look at some of these, so I mean, it has somewhat good synergy, but again, there's still a lot of glaring weaknesses that you can. So like Zardex, if I look at someone who's fire and dragon, it just kind of rips him apart. There's no easy way of dealing with that for him. So yeah, he has got a definite few holes. But yeah, I'm sure like I said, I'm sure he'll patch it up next season. Good luck, Tom.
Alright, up next we have Zach. Mr. Weeb. So looking at his team, Zach had a pretty good season. Ended up barely got into the playoffs. I mean, thanks to Robbo losing the last match of the season. He'll be taking on Nick. Look at his team first off. Chuckle. You can really see like that's where he was kind of going for.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he did not bring it very much, and I think that could probably hurt him a little bit because he had some mods that could really use that stealth rock, the sticky web.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, I see a very strong Zygarde, Mimikyu. He brought in late season in place of Risen, who also performed well up to that point. And I would say as a whole, he's got some very solid Pokemon, very solid synergy with the team. He just didn't perform as well as he might have hoped with it.
Yeah.
There's some.
I mean, he kind of did what he did last season, Zach. So he just kind of scraped playoffs. But again, as long as you make playoffs, it doesn't matter kind of how you do it. The only thing with Zach is sometimes he just gets kind of like caught in the moment and forgets something. So I can't remember who. I think he did it twice last season where there was once where he didn't put an ice move on for when he was prepping for a Gliscor. Or any mons on his team didn't have an ice move, so he just had a bad time. And I can't remember, he didn't bring a move or he didn't click a move against someone else that could have won him a battle, and there was just like little things that ultimately led to that kind of very much scraping through. And I think without those, you definitely could have. I think you finished 5-5, so yeah, you could have finished 7-3, easy peasy, and could have qualified as the first place in that group. But no, I mean, props to you that you made playoffs twice. Definitely deserved, and to knock Robbo out. Obviously, being our champion for 3 seasons in a row, that kind of made us all happy, just knowing that someone else is now going to be champion. So yeah, props to you, my man, and hopefully it carries on for you.
Yeah, he's definitely a team I don't want to play in the playoffs, though. You just see so many threats, and
yeah, he has a scary team.
Tough out.
Zygarde. I mean, I don't really get scared of Volcarona, but again, it can be just incredibly scary. Mega Gyarados, I mean, probably one of my favourite mons at the moment. Just terrifying.
Absolutely.
Brilliant typing. It fits well on the ladder at the moment. But again, I mean, he hasn't really used it to protect since he traded away Mega Deontay. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll come in useful for him in playoffs.
Yep, yes, sir. Best of luck, Zach.
Best of luck, Zach. Then next up we have our boy Will, another OG for the league. Probably one of the most, alongside Robbo, probably one of the most consistent coaches. I think he's made playoffs every season bar one, which I think was season 2, where he had just an awful like 2
where
and
he
8 or something.
surprisingly finished last.
Yeah, he finished last. I think that was behind Danny. Was Danny in that? I think Danny was in that
Yep,
season.
Danny. I think it was me, Will, Danny, then me.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a bad season. But again, I mean, he's definitely picked it up. And he finished. And probably bear in mind that I think he was gone for 2 weeks out of 10. For the last 2 weeks, he had gone off to Poland, and one of his close friends had took over, who I think 6-0'd someone, so it wasn't exactly a bad thing. But yeah, he 6-0'd Sam. But yeah, I mean, he finished 7-3 with a plus 25 differential, so I mean, not too far behind Bill. He took the 2nd seed for playoffs, so you automatic bye to the semi-final. Won every single game in his division, which is, I mean, I look at his division. You've got 3 other great coaches. Lonnie's no one to sleep on. I'm sure he can. I mean, I've seen him turn up before, and you had a great season last season as well. Vsich didn't miss out on playoffs by much. So to go 6-0 in that division is definitely incredible. Looking at some of his Pokemon, I mean, Garchomp, probably one of the first mons you prepare for on a team, still getting 16 kills and only dying 5 times. Guys, come on, prepare for him. Prepare for that Garchomp.
It's so hard, Sean, okay? It's so hard.
What have you got on your team? You got an Intimidate Crocodile, Blastoise. Come on.
You don't talk about my team, okay? You don't talk about it.
We'll get there. And yeah, I mean, Mega Scizor, obviously, it's so versatile, it can do many things. Going 9-4. Pre-Marina had a particularly brilliant season, something that I'm sure a lot of people.
Surprisingly, yeah, 7 kills.
7 kills, 2 deaths. I mean, I've used it on a ladder and just stick a specs on it and things die. It's as simple as that. And yeah, in typical Will fashion, he's got a fair bit of bulk to back it up. So Rotom Heat, Delmise, Umbreon. I mean, Mega Scizor can back up. Yeah, you got Necrozma, which I think swept. Who did it sweep? Was it you?
Yeah.
Oh, was it you? I didn't actually remember that. It wasn't like a hit. So yeah, that was an incredible set for Necrozma, and I mean, that's nothing against you. I mean, loads of people could have got swept by that Necrozma set. I wouldn't have looked at a baton pass from Volbeat into Necrozma and then sweep a team. It's hard to. It's pretty much impossible to prepare for. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Will will be back for his final playoff games, which is a little bit sad. But again, Danny 6-0'd one of the other guys that had already made playoffs.
Danny we trust.
So if Danny manages to actually become the UBC champion, I mean,
I think we'll have to split that crown because Will got him there through the first 8 games.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll have to fight over who it is. I'll just give it to the New England Palkies, no matter who wants to claim it. So yeah, I mean, brilliant season, Will, and Danny. Good looking playoffs. Do it for your boy. And we'll be seeing you next season, hopefully to keep you out of playoffs. So yeah.
Yeah, draft a crap team next season, Will. Please.
Just draft something awful, yeah. Oh, you've got a good one.
Next, we've got Robbo.
Oof.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oof.
And this is actually his first season, though, not making the playoffs. You know, he still almost did.
Very close. Very, very close.
Looking at his team right off the bat, he's got his classic mascot, Dragonite, Mega Medicham, Lando, Tapu Koko. It's fantastic offensive versatility, but he really synergized that really well with Mandibuzz, Titanol, Tangrowth, Sylveon, Regirock. He just played a classic Bravo season. He played really well. Nothing super flashy, nothing super outstanding. He just made the plays they needed to make and keep himself in the conversation. Unfortunately, screw-ups against Zach and an unfortunate forfeit against Zach as well. Pretty much kept him out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Season. Surprisingly, I don't even know anyone else who could do this, but 5 kills with Fortress. 2 appearances. Someone's not updating their doc.
Yeah,
But no, just looking at he had really good balance along his team with both offense and defense. And even Fione has been able to contribute a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're putting some work on the
matchup against Zach was very important.
Yeah, I agree.
You really can't prep for Bravo either. I remember last season when I had to prep for him. I think I prepped for almost 2 hours using Sam as some help. He won because he ended up having to make a very much a coin flip decision, and he made, unfortunately, came up the wrong side for him.
That was a good battle. That was. I remember that.
Yeah, that was where Crocodile made his.
Yeah, Crocodile made his name after I traded him to you, and I was like, "Damn, should have kept him." But yeah, I think you've had a.
Yeah, maybe you want to make playoffs.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of just look at Robbo. I mean, just some feedback for you, Robbo. Looking at your past season, you've just gone offense, and that is clearly an area that works for you. I think your season 1 team was just hard offense. There was nothing on it which really took hits. So that's probably a style that, if I were you, I'd probably be looking at again. That's not. I mean, looking at your team, you got Coco, Medicham, Lando T, Dragonite. You got a Null, which can be used offensively, but again, if you look at all the other slots, I mean, Tangrowth doesn't really work for you. You can't really get the most out of it. Mandibuzz going. I mean, it's not really a kills Pokemon, but 1 and 5. I'd just start looking at how you used to kind of draft teams, and perhaps try taking that route again, or even just trying something completely different to hopefully keep yourself out of playoffs again, because it seems that you're just a pressure man. You can deal with playoff situations better than most people. So I think that's everyone's goal, is just to keep you out of it. So all I can say is good luck for next season. And yeah, try and go a little bit more offensive, because I think that's where you become scary and hard to beat.
Go back to your Manaphy and Mega Pinsir roots.
Yeah. Don't draft both of those, please. I refuse to battle you.
He's kind of on my radar, Robbo. Please let me have them.
So next up, we have our boy Lonnie. So new to the league this season. I don't think he was in it last season, no.
Yeah, he made a few words.
Yeah, a man of very few words. He's been like that for every kind of league I've been. Is this? Let me just check this is still recording. We have been speaking for a while. Yeah, I mean, he never really speaks much. He just kind of gets on with his battles. He had an up and down season. At the start, he went 0 and 3. But I mean, he had such bad luck. It was incredible.
He could have easily won this division.
Yeah, I mean, especially against me. He set up a Terrakion. All he had to do was hit a Stone Edge against a Mesprit, but it missed, and he ended up getting 4-0'd. It was kind of like hell, kind of watching that from his perspective. But yeah, I mean, after that, he kind of stepped up, and I think he went 4 and 3 after his last 7 battles, picked his season up. I'm going to say just because of the start that he had, just missed out on playoffs, going 4 and 6, -4.
Doesn't stand in this division. I think he ends up winning. He probably makes playoffs.
Yeah,
Excadrill just kills him every time.
Excadrill just kind of walks through his team, and that's probably some kind of advice for you next season. Lonnie, is if you do get around to watching this video, is actually take a look at what the teams in your division are building, and see if what your idea is going to be able to counter that, because ultimately you play the people in your division the most, and they're the battles that you have to win. And I'm saying that with a 2 and 4 differential in my division, so I didn't do that great, and it's something that I'll be doing next season. So definitely some advice that I'd take on board. But looking at your team is scary. It deserves playoffs. You got a Curan Black, barely any switch-ins. You got a Suicune, just absolute Carmine setup, scary stuff. You got a Zoroark, so again something that kind of fools people in prep a little bit. You got a Mega Gardevoir, something that I've always wanted to use. You got a Terrakion, which is probably one of your most scary threats. You got Nidoking. Again, your weaknesses sat with your hazard removal. So I mean, you didn't have as many weaknesses as extra rocks. I mean, you got Curon Black, which once rocks are up, it's limited. But I mean, you've now got a Decidueye, which you traded. So you had that defog support, and then I think your other one was just Cryogonal. And then your only real bulk was P2. I liked your draft though. I think you had a goal in mind of how you wanted to use it, in terms of perhaps it was break holes and let Suicune sweep, or break holes and let Curum sweep. I feel like you had something together that you knew what you wanted to do, but again, you just got unlucky. And personally, I mean, I am scared to battle you next season. I don't know if we do, but another team which I think are going to be a bit fed up with this season and step up next season and just try and tear down people. So beware of Lonnie. Beware.
He's out for revenge.
He's out for revenge. Exactly that. I think that pretty much covers that. So
got Sam.
We've got Sam next. The boy.
He is our coach of the Atletico Merrill. And Sam is an interesting case. Season on legendary pace. Exeggutor, I think, started out 11-0. But I think it became very clear what his goal was, and he was really trying to replicate his season 1.
Yeah.
At this time, everyone started prepping for Excadrill, and Sam did not adapt fast enough to continue his pace. He did rebound towards the end of the season, though. He finally learned how to use Mons besides Excadrill, like Hydreigon, Charizard Y, Arcanine chipped in pretty well. He made a great pickup with Cresselia.
Yeah.
I think just my overall advice to Sam is, Sam, I would say you drafted pretty well, like usual. But you need to start learning how to open your mind to other Pokemon besides Excadrill. We know that's your baby, and you can still always do really well with that. But you need to start realizing, like, Hydreigon, Arcanine, Zardwy. You start using those a little sooner, I think you end up at more like an 8-2 rather than a 6-4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah. I'm looking at hazard removal, not too much of that right now, it looks like, outside of Avalugg and Excadrill.
But you don't really want Rapid Spin on that every week.
So obviously that's something you want to look into next season, is to make sure of that.
Yeah, especially when you've got Zard Y as well. I think you need more.
Yeah, like I said, you had a great season. You just need to work on looking at other Pokemon and get some more hazard removal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, his Excadrill, yeah. I mean, it started off solid, but I mean, towards the end of the season, so I called him out when we was voting for the season awards, saying that everyone kind of goes towards the kill leader. But I mean, he made a solid point in that it did a very good job towards the end of the season of just chipping Pokemon down, and being just kind of more hard to kill. And yeah, like you say, you kind of learn, or just kind of saw, look, I've got a Hydreigon, I got a Zard, I got an Arcanine, I could use them, because most of the time when you look at a drill, you focus a lot of preparation towards it, so you don't get swept by the Samrush variant. So that will naturally open up holes for things like Hydreigon, Zardwy to pick off teams. As long as you can land your Fire Blast with Zardwy, Sam. I think you need to train it better.
Flamethrower is better, that's why you use it.
Yeah, exactly.
100% accuracy.
But I mean, Sam, you're my boy. You're located just to the south of me. I think personally you had a brilliant season, and you definitely deserve playoffs. I'm proud that this season I actually managed to beat you just once. I think that's the first time I ever did. And yeah, I genuinely hope you go all the way this season. I am rooting for you. And yeah, we'll see what next season has for you with the new tier system and more battlers, and perhaps not the chance to get an Excadrill. So we'll see if you can actually use anything other than Excadrill. We'll see.
Sort of advice, Sam. Make sure you prep for Garchomp this time. Like Sean said, why is no one prepping for Garchomp?
Why is no one prepping for Garchomp? I think you are prepping for Garchomp, but if I look at Sam's team, I mean he's got a Hippowdon, but again, all he has to do is chip away at it, and then it just sweeps. Yeah.
Get burn it, do something, figure something out with that.
Yeah, exactly. Sam, I think you should actually look at drafting Garchomp next season. To be fair, it's not that dissimilar to Excadrill, bar the obvious steel typing. But yeah, I think you should look into that. Give it a go, mate. Next up, so Fish and I are gonna kind of cover ourselves. I know this has probably looked like it's took a while, and it obviously, I think we're on 40 minutes for this video, and we've only just got through the the 10 team analysis, so we're nearly there. Just a few other bits. In terms of my season, I probably as frustrating as last season. I missed out on playoffs by 1 game, so I went 6-4. My differential was horrendous, -1, and as well as my divisional record was 2-4. So same as last season, I kind of had the guy that turn up. So last season Bill went 3-7, was it? And this season he went 9-1. The season before that I had Veno, who went. He had a pretty bad season before, and then he went 7-3. It just feels like I get put in the divisions where the good people turn up. But I mean, I'm kind of proud of it because I pushed
next season.
Yeah, I pushed Nick all the way. I mean, he went to the final last season, and I pushed him all the way. I probably could have played much better against him in the last game of the season. But just to kind of top that off, I mean, Nick, you definitely deserved it. Yeah. Looking at my team, the idea for me was to have a good core, and Gudra and Rotom Wash, obviously, they seem to fit together with that grass weakness, Sap Sipper, been able to Volt Switch out. Initially I had Megalopony, so the idea was Rotom Wash created a synergy core with that offensively, and Megalopony was able to pick things off. It worked most of the time. I mean, Gudra was definitely a good Pokemon, and that special defense is certainly something that's tough to crack through. So yeah, I mean, I picked up a Zard X, perhaps I think it was like week 7. I swapped my Megalopony out for it, and it went. Yeah, I think it went 6-2 in the end. That doc hasn't been updated yet after Nick and my battle. So 6-2, not bad within 3 weeks. It pretty much won me the 2 games before, put me in that position. Kind of Z Memento into D-Dance Zard is pretty hard to prepare for, to be honest with you, unless you got a team of dark types. So yeah, I mean, I've got my own plans for next season. I think I've kind of reviewed it myself and saw where I went wrong somewhat, but I'm just hoping that no one turns up in my division, and then I should be all right.
Sean, I'm coming for you next season.
Yeah, you're in my division, aren't you? Oof. That video is probably going to have to go up on the channel directly, and we're going to have to talk about it.
My personal advice, just looking at your team, and actually, it's just a thing I've noticed over the last 2 seasons, is that you've played pretty average through like the first 6-7 weeks, and you turn it on at the end. I think you need to figure out, and it's usually because of switches you've made. I think it's one of those things you kind of need to figure out the switches a little sooner. Last season it was Florges. This season it's going to be Zardex.
Yeah.
One of those things where you kind of got to figure out what you need a little sooner, so you don't have to put yourself in that position where you need to win that last week, or you need to win your last 3 games to have any chance at it.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Drafting and prepping a little bit better, maybe you get a little. I don't know. I'm not saying trying to speculate exactly what goes through your head when you're drafting, but
yeah, I guess over these past few seasons, I think all of us are kind of figuring out what Pokemon suit us best. Luckily for Sam, he found it kind of season 1, and then you've got Crocodile. I've got Floor just being good for me. If I look at, I can't even think about other teams. Who else we got? Well, obviously Garchomp for Will. So
Garchomp is Will. Garchomp and Mega Scizor are Will's.
Yeah, Mega Scizor seems to be on Will's team probably almost every season. He seems to do well with it. So yeah, I guess that's
apparently Karen Black and Zarber sexes. He has not really. He's only done it one time with them, I think.
Yeah.
I kind of tend to just let him have it next season, just so he can put up or shut up with them.
Yeah, exactly. Go 10-0 with Curum X, and then we'll see. We'll see who's talking. All right. So
and
you know,
to my team.
Yeah, you're
all right. So going into the season, I was really trying for something different here. I really didn't know what I was going to go with exactly, but I knew I wanted to build around Latios and Crocodile again.
Yep.
And use a lot of mons that I've never really used before. I quickly realized it was not a good idea. I even drafted Clefable, who was surprisingly my best Pokemon up to that point before I decided to get rid of it.
What was your reason for getting rid of Clefable? I mean, it was doing quite well before.
At that point, so I had made my switch before that week, before that breakout week.
Oh yeah, it's wreck shop, didn't it?
And then it decided to wreck shop and would have won if not for a crit.
Yeah.
But no, it's not my type of Pokemon. As I've learned, it's like it's purely situational, and how you gotta bring it at the right moment, or it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Stuff like Crocodile and Volcanion and even Kartana to a degree. I played horribly with Kartana, but don't have to come in at the right perfect moment just because of their pure power and pure offensive abilities. But looking at my team, I think it wasn't necessarily a bad team. I just had no idea what I was doing with this team.
Yeah.
Next season, I'm trying to get a little bit back to more what I've done a couple drafts since so far I like those teams a lot better.
Yeah.
They're teams that feel more natural to my playing abilities.
Yeah, I think that's what
I'm get back to.
Yeah, I think that's your thing is finding them. Oops, sorry.
This stuff going to hyper offense purely.
Okay.
So yeah, looking at some bright spots. Hoopa, I kind of wish I'd used Hoopa a little bit more. Everyone expected it after its breakout last season. Keldeo I underperformed with. Latios. And I think just we'll work on it.
Yeah. I guess
just gonna keep you out of the playoffs again.
Not gonna happen. So yeah, I mean, you probably know now what your ideal kind of play style is. So whether it's hyper offense or more kind of bulky, whatever works for how you play. Just kind of bear that in mind for next season, because I think for all of us it's going to be a rough ride. So if I look at all the teams this season, there's no one that was easy to beat. Next season, we've added four absolute monsters at this game. Well, I think two of them I'm not really familiar with as much, but I know Alexis and Rab are two really good battlers. So probably stick to your play style, build around that.
Get out of my head. I want very specific mons. Look for more what I need for the team.
So, and things that have kind of worked for you in the past and perhaps would fit on this team. I mean, looking at you do have somewhat good synergy between your Pokemon. So that's something I'd probably bear in mind for the future as well. And I guess whilst you're battling, one thing that I probably a few others picked out as well was kind of plan out your end game a little bit better. So maybe that's looking at team preview, and although you've probably brought a mon that you think will clean up, looking at team preview and seeing if that's still the same or if anything could have changed, like this mon could put in more work. Something along those lines, just kind of being a little bit more thoughtful during the battle as well, rather than perhaps just thinking in prep. But again, just feedback. Do what you want. Some people have just want to have fun with this. Some people actually want to be super competitive. I guess
I just don't want to go 1-9 again.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit harsh though. Looking at the kind of your kills, deaths, some of your matches that you played. You had a tough division. I think we all had a tough division, but you had Sam and Will. Sam had his baby extra drill. Will is always going to turn up, and Lonnie is not a walkover by any degree. And then some of your other matches. I mean, you had Zach, you had Veno, so last season's winner. You had Nick. You beat Tom. So that was I was very proud of you for that week.
Beat Tom.
You beat
Terminator almost screwed me, but it's fine.
Yeah. So you had it. You went 9-1, but you had a better season than someone. So you're not the new Jared.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. I think that actually. So I think we're like 50 minutes in, and that just about summarises the team analysis.
Now we're on the final standings.
Now we're into the final standings. So I'll just kind of quickly cover up this bit. So there will be this will show up on your screen now. But we were split into divisions. So we had Diamond, Platinum, and Pearl. So in Diamond, Bill and Nick qualified for playoffs. Bill obviously wrecking shop, and then Nick beating me to make playoffs. Both equally deserved, and unfortunately myself, as usual, and Veno missing out. We're going to Platinum. X and Zach made playoffs, managed to keep Robbo out, and then Tom going 0-10. Had a tough division, probably two of the best battlers in the league within that, although one of them didn't make playoffs, so it was unfortunate. Yeah, congrats to X and Zach for that one. And then in Pearl we had Will and Sam, who both made playoffs, and Lonnie and yourself missed out. So yeah, good luck to those 6. You can kind of see by the standings it was tough for most people. No one's differential apart from Bill's and Will's. Everyone's but Bill's and Will's was
out of this world.
Yeah, it's just out of this world. So yeah, I mean that kind of summarises the standings. You can see within all 3 divisions how close the playoff race was. So the top 2 make it. Myself missing out by a game, Robbo missing out on differential, and Lonnie missing out by 2 games. It was a pretty close season, and one in which got the heartbeat raised in many games.
Mm-hmm. Moving on, we've got the kill leaderboard for the season. In first place, salvaging Venom's season is Greninja with 17 kills and 8 deaths, which did also tie for the most deaths in the season.
Yeah.
Venom, we're the best. Maybe don't rely on Greninja that much next season. I don't know if Greninja should ever end up as the kill leader of the entire league, unless you have other people who
I think if you use that,
maybe. Garchomp finished second place with 16 kills and 5 deaths. And once again, I think it's Garchomp's best season by far.
Yeah.
I think Exegil put in a very typical 13-6. Putting its total, I believe, to 42 kills in its 4 seasons here. Congrats again, Sam. You've done really well with it again. Down the line, some notable ones. We got Mamoswine in 4th. Got it up to 6th place. Tornadoes had a great season.
Got Mew up in 9th as well. So that versatility coming in clutch, I guess.
Mega Metacham, I believe this is its first season being used.
Yeah.
Put in a really good solid debut season. Mega Silverhead once again did well. The most shocking one, we've got Raichu at 5-0. The only Pokemon I think that ended up with 0 deaths.
And that was because it ripped Robbo a new one.
Yes, Robbo. That's one thing we forgot, Robbo. Prep for Raichu. If you
Prep for Raichu. That was probably the funniest point of the season. I loved it.
Bravo, just come on, man. You're better than this. Come on. And as a whole, pretty typical kill leaderboard outside of Greninja being the shock leader of the season.
Yeah. I think
which we may have built to think or not. We're not sure. Might have been some backroom dealings. To everyone, congrats to Benno for leading the league. Yeah, typically, just good job, guys. Yeah. Now for the playoff fixtures, we've got Zach versus Nick in our first matchup, and Sam versus Zach in the second matchup, I believe. Correct?
Yep.
First matchup, that's gonna be a good matchup, like we talked about in our previews. Zach had a very dangerous team, especially with Pokemon that come in late, so his roster does not give him justice to the kills and deaths of that. And Nick's just got one hell of a team. It's gonna be a bitch to prep for, but match, as long as Zach preps really well for Nick's obvious offensive threats like Salamence and Infernape.
Yeah.
X and Sam, we've got, I think this could be probably be even more entertaining as Sam has now, like we said, gotten a little bit more used to some of his other mons in the team, which could make this a lot more competitive and could allow him to then sweep with Excadrill in the end again, or you go for Hydreigon or Sardwide. And Zex hopefully can show us what we've been waiting for this entire season. Like we said, he has an incredible team, and we pretty much have expected more out of this team, which is weird to say when he finished 7-3. But that just tells you how strong his team is. And then after that, we got our 1 seed with Bill and our 2nd seed with Danny/Will. So, consensus is that we hope Danny somehow wins.
Yeah.
And we also want to see Bill win as well. So as long as Raba doesn't win, so hey, that's good, right?
I think a lot of people are rooting against X as well. So I don't think he'll be.
You have to have one enemy in here.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's gonna be a really entertaining playoffs. We've got a lot of great teams in it this year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, looking at Sam versus X, I mean, Sam definitely has the matchup there. In terms of looking at his team, X is going to have to pull something out of his sleeve. So,
Electros coming to play here big time.
Yeah, Electros probably will come in clutch. And I was also looking at Shedinja as well for the matchup, but again, a lot of Sam's team gets coverage for Shedinja, so he can't even switch into anything.
Extra use Shedinja.
Yeah.
Extra should use it. He needs to use it.
Yeah. So naturally, I mean, a lot of Sam's team kind of break through most of X's, but if I look at how X will go about, I mean, you got a Alolan Ninetales, which with the Aurora Veil that could cause some upsets. I wonder how Sam will prepare for that. I mean, Gliscor looks like it's going to have a good matchup against Sam. It looks like it could switch into a few of his things and cause him some problems.
Coming late game, Weavile late game.
Yeah, I mean, bar Excadrill, Sandrush. I mean, I don't think and Jolteon. I don't think anything's over base 100. So I think X has got the speed tiers. But again, I don't think that's. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Sam's definitely got the matchup, and if he plays to his potential, he'll be able to pull through on that one. And as well with Zach and Nick, I don't. Depends how Zach goes about it. So he's definitely got the offense to pull through. So probably some of the best setup mons in Mega Garrett and Volcarona.
And Zygarde.
And how can I miss a Zygarde? But yeah, I mean, Nick's such a good. He preps so well, so it depends how Zach wants to build those mons. I think they might even be playing tonight. I don't know. They might. I don't think they've already played, but we'll see. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and my predictions will be Nick and Sam go through. So that means Nick will be playing Bill and will be playing Sam. What are you saying?
I think for the first round, I think I'm gonna have to go. My heart wants Zach, but I think Nick's gonna pull through.
I think Nick.
And I think Zach is gonna somehow find another way to get in.
To beat Sam.
As much as I like Sam as well, but I just think he's got that speed that he needs to beat Sam in that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got the options to beat him. It just depends how he goes about it, and also how Sam kind of prepares for what he could potentially bring to counter his pretty powerful matchup against him. So we'll see. So yeah, I mean, just to summarise, everyone, great season. Yeah, there's not much more to say. Going on to yeah, so moving on to next season. So I mean, Vsich and I have started doing this kind of uploading to YouTube now. We're going to do this season recap, and then we'll do more of a playoffs and awards recap, just to kind of finish off season 4. Then as we go into season 5, there'll be weekly videos with like game of the week, the results, poker, I think play of the week, mon of the week, some things like that, which kind of summarize a week. And then kind of during the season, we'll maybe have 2 or 3 like quizzes between having some of the members on the channel. So I think that's how it's gonna go next season. We have changed our league. So this season we drafted from tiers, kind of fixed tiers. Next season we're going into more of an open draft where you're assigned. It's still kind of tier based and still somewhat limited, but again, yeah. So you're assigned a set amount of points, and then you basically craft a team between 10 and 12 Pokemon between all these tiers. So there's more money management involved. I think it will still be balanced, but we'll see. And then we're also increasing the amount of members we have next season from 12 up to 16. So it will definitely be one of the best seasons of the UBC, I hope, like this one was. So yeah.
We also got a new website up. We got a website.
Yeah, we've got a website as well.
Shout out to Tom for that. He's worked really hard on that. As much shit as we give him about it, he has done a really good job so far, and really look forward to him finishing it up once he gets his new laptop or his laptop fixed, whatever he's doing with that.
Absolutely. I agree, Tom. Massive shout out to you. You've took the burden off my hands, because I have no aesthetically pleasing. I'm not very good at design. I can't see as well as you for those things, so massive props to you. The website looks beautiful, and it will be, I think it's on the YouTube channel. Actually, there's a link at the top of the channel where you can click it. So if we pick up many fans, you can click through the website. You can see up-to-date standings and kills and all that juicy stuff, rather than like filtering through a massive document that we used to have. So massive changes coming next season, and yeah, we'll hope it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Hopefully hopefully no one ends up at 0-10 or 1-9 next season.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think it'll be a